Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm working on making Colorado squares. They look like this, and I have another one that looks like this. The fabric I'm going to use for this project is tie-dye. And I have a bunch of scrap fabric that I'm going to use. These are felt pieces. And I chose these colors because they match the tie-dye fabric. I made a pattern for my Colorado square. I took one that I already had and I just enlarged it a little bit to make it the size I wanted it to be. And now I can cut out my felt pieces. One thing that I found that made it easier was to cut out the pieces backwards because I use a pen to trace it. And then when I go to make the quilt square, I won't get any ink. The ink won't show. The ink side will be facing down, and then you won't be able to see it on the fabric. The tie-dye piece of fabric measures about 11 inches by 11 inches, but I made it that size because I knew I was going to trim it down later. For this project, I'm using Heat and Bond Iron On Adhesive, and this will adhere the felt fabric to the cotton fabric. I've added it to the back of the felt pieces and lined everything up, and I was able to cut the adhesive bond into little strips where all of the corners line up so that it's not too thick. And I'm ready to iron. You can see that the fabric is now bonded together, and at this point I can continue to hand sew or I can machine sew. I'm going to go ahead and machine sew so I can show you the stitch I'm going to use. I'm at my sewing machine and I want to come up with the same stitch that I've been working on here. I call this Paris stitch. You might have a different name for it, but I found a similar one on my machine. So I'm going to go around the entire pattern in that stitch, and then I'll be able to use embroidery floss to go over the sewing machine stitch. And it looks like this. I'll continue and fast forward. This square is done. I completed the machine sewing, and I've decided to go with this color blue for the embroidery floss that will go around the edges. that I've already sewn. And I'm using it as a pattern to follow. And then just follow the sewing all the way around. And here it is all finished. I hope to make a blanket and add more squares, and they'll butt up to each other, something like that. Not sure how big it's going to be or how many squares it's going to have. I'll have to do an update when I'm done. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe. If you do, your sewing is amazing and I love it.